Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to you all. And it's about time we got started. And we're just going to talk tonight about how you can have better well-being in your health and your financial life. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rory McDermott. My pleasure to be able to talk to you this evening. I'll be talking with my dear wife later, and we will just give you an overview of our business. So, I believe that everyone in life wants to succeed. I don't know of anyone who wants to be a failure. Everyone wants to succeed, everyone wants to prosper, but the reality, the stark reality of it is so few people actually succeed because success takes grit. And the statistics tell us that at 65 years old, 95% of people are either dead or dead broke or dependent on outdated pensions, dependent on family to look after them, dependent on a government pension. And that's not the way anyone wants to end up. So we all want success. And the question is finding a suitable vehicle for it. I believe anyone who wants to succeed and can prosper them, but they need to find a way of doing it. And tonight we're talking about a very simple system that if you adopt the system and apply it for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you can radically change your financial destiny. And that's important. It's the simple things in life that work. And sometimes it's so simple that it seems meaningless, but it's the little things done consistently over a consistent period of time that build the wealth that you want. Now, for those of you who don't know me, as I mentioned, my name is Rory McDermott. My dear wife Noela and I, as youngsters, we got married, and within 2 years, when we got married, we were working for corporate jobs. We had good jobs. We were doing well on the corporate side, but we wanted more out of life. And we realized that as long as we worked for a boss, no matter the title, no matter the package, we were not going to get wealthy. And we were not going to have the life that we wanted. We wanted to travel. We wanted freedom. We did not want to have a humdrum day type of life. So we were looking for opportunity. And we ventured off on our own little business. I started a company called ProPave. It was in the paving industry in the early days. And this little business got into traction and got going and started going very well. And we took on an American franchise called Boomlight, and things started looking very good. Then we got to a period of time where suddenly the economy tightened up, and we did two major contracts, and those two contracts both went insolvent, and we never got paid for that. And that affected our cash flow dramatically. So suddenly we had a healthy little business with no cash. Technically, we were bankrupt. And so the interesting thing is, along the way, I had met a man. His name was Horace Painter. And I say this for a reason, because tonight you've been invited down to listen to this talk. And you don't realize the impact that that invitation can have on the rest of your life. Because Horace, who was a very successful businessman, said, Rory, you look an ambitious person. Do you want to make some money? I said, show me how. And we came down, saw this business. That was on the 8th of July, 1974. So we've been part of the business now for 53 odd years, somewhere in that vicinity. But we saw the business, and we started on a part-time basis, fiddling with it. And then, as I mentioned, suddenly we were faced with bankruptcy because of our other business difficulties. And we turned and focused our attention on the only thing we had. Sometimes you've got to take what you're holding in your hand. You don't realize it. You've got it. You've got the neo-life opportunity, or you have an opportunity. Take what you've got and work it professionally. And that's what we did. We started applying ourselves professionally to neo-life. And over time, we built in fact, the biggest neo-life business in the world at the time, when we were young and very active, and became the first 5 diamond directors in the neo-life world. So we did well. And what I'm trying to illustrate here is not our success, but what I'm trying to say is we absolutely committed ourselves for the first 10 years. We went flat out. And that decade set us up for everything. It paid off our business debt. It paid off our personal debt. We started investing in properties, not only local, but international properties as well. We started having holidays 2, 3, 4 times a year. We'd go overseas with our kids. we started making some real serious money. And it all came from the simple little business that we're about to share with you tonight. So, tonight we're going to talk about your better well being, your future from a health perspective, and also from a wealth perspective. So, to kick off tonight, I'm going to ask my dear wife, who I want to just thank at this stage. She's been my partner for the last 54 years. She is unbelievable. She not only looks good, her attitude is wonderful, and I'm just very blessed to have her as my partner. So, over to you, my sweetheart. Thank you.
Okay, well, there, now that was quite an introduction. Now I better live up to it. Okay, it's just so exciting to be here. I look forward to talking about the products, the solutions for your better well-being. Now, hopefully everybody on the call is feeling great and is well, because we want to maintain that. So while I do that, I'm going to try and share this. Let me just share my screen quickly. There we are. There we Okay, so what is that question asking you? It says, are you really getting enough from your fruits and veggies? Most of us aren't, and that's why Neolife created a powerful solution to bridge the nutritional gap. And that's what we're doing. We are bridging, we haven't got anything magic, we're bridging gaps. And the big thing is food is our medicine. Food is what our body recognizes. Food is what fixes us. And we've got to get that in our heads, that food, the correct food is our solution. So let me share this, okay? Mhm. There we are. So I'm going to just go run through a few products. We've got 100 odd products in our range. I am going to just run through just a handful, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about and what we have to offer. Because every business has to have a product and a service. We have products and service. And as I say, I'm not going through all the products, but I just want to show you how amazing and how these products can really help most people regain what they possibly don't even realize they're lacking, like energy. So many people are energyless, or they can't see their way through the afternoons. Here, this treonine, it's grain concentrates. Its nutrient efficiency is doubled when you take it. I'm going to show you a graph. The cardiovascular development is improved. Overall, and development in kids is improved. So basically, if we look at treonine, 3-in-1 equals cell health equals energy. So let's have a look at this here. Here we've got two cells. One is an unhealthy cell and one is a healthy cell. And most of us sit with unhealthy cells, but we don't realize it. But the food industry did us a huge disservice in the early 1900s, end of 1800s, where they refined all our grain food and took all the nutrients and the good oils, the lipids and the sterols out of our whole grains, and we have been eating refined grains ever since. Maybe you think you're eating whole grains, a few things are thrown in, that's great for you. But let me show you what actually happens. The cell membrane has to have oil. So any oil that you've eaten, butter, fat, any fat, cooking oil, whatever, makes up that membrane, and that membrane often is impermeable. Whereas once you start taking treonine, you regain the health of those cells, because your cells are turning over all the time, and that new cell gets more energy, and the membrane is permeable. So here, let's have a look at the improved nutrient efficiency on the middle here. If without the treonine, that's what food from the same plate of food gets absorbed. With treonine, look at it, it's more than double. So that means that cell membrane is more permeable, so the nutrition goes in and that waste goes out. So you haven't got clogged cells full of waste. And also, the important thing is those cells have got a job to do, and they make stuff for our body, like neurotransmitters in there, and they have to get out. So now the cell is working, it's replicated healthily, and it's great. So here's your growth and development without trenin with, and here's your enhanced cardiovascular development. And we need the cardiovascular part of our bodies to be working well, and trenin does it. So that's one product. I just want to show you here, we have got two multivitamins. Now, most families think, oh, I'll go and get a multivitamin and then I've sort of plugged the gaps. No, no, no. You've got to have one that your body recognizes from food. So here we have the Formula 4 in a tub and Formula 4 Plus, which have the trenin base in them. So all the vitamins and minerals are sitting in this trenin oil base. So we know that you're absorbing everything that you've bought. So that is our multivitamin, which is unique. Trenin is unique to us. The Formula 4 and Formula 4 Plus is unique to us because of the trenin. So let's have a look at the next one. It's the carotenoid complex. That is an immune boosting product. It boosts immunity in 20 days by 37%, all scientifically. It's in our website. You can see it. So it improves immune function, it improves heart health, and it slows down aging. It slows down aging because it stops oxidative damage, us rusting. It stops the cell membranes being damaged, and that immediately slows down aging process, and that's how it starts protecting the heart health, because the fats in the blood don't oxidate and get sticky. So this carotenoid complex is made up of 5 fruits and veggies. It's listed on the tub, and it is a powerful, powerful product to plug the gaps of maybe our fruits and vegetables that have been grown in deficient soil, that have been stored forever in a supermarket, that have gone under radiation. These are taken, and the company Noela knows farm to table, that we source the products around the world, and farm to table, they'll know where the product comes from, and the product is tested before it's ever used, the raw ingredients. So I'm very happy with that. The carotenoid complex, and I want to just show this, and this is science. Women with higher carotenoid levels have reduced risk of breast cancer, scientifically shown in the Journal of National Cancer Institute. And that is, for me, an absolute win. And then we have another one, flavonoid, which is also made from the purples and deep reds and some green tea. You'll see the list of everything in it. And this one supports our cellular nutrition. It helps healthy inflammation. So it reduces the unhealthy inflammation and promotes cardiovascular health as well. And here, you'll see here this also some science that's all shown in our manual on our, it's all there for everybody to see. There are many pages of scientific tests, but the conclusion from tests done on our flavonoid complex show it strongly inhibits growth of human breast cancer cells. Now, men, you also have breasts. I met 2 men with breast cancer in my life, and it's unusual, but that is the protection food gives. And that's the protection we can offer people because our products come directly from food and grown in the right environment, etc. Now, here's an interesting product because everybody knows about omega-3. Omega-3 is just sorry, I don't want to go there. Omega-3 is a fabulous product. It comes from fish oil, and it's here. Ours is bioavailable. It's heart protective, the whole cardiovascular system. It's anti-inflammatory. In 8 weeks, this will reduce inflammation by 68%. And why I talk about inflammation so much is that all chronic disease is based in inflammation. So any chronic disease, so basically it protects our brains, our hearts, our joints, and men, your prostate. Okay, so Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists tell us that the 8 omega fatty acids, which make up a complete omega and are in our omega-3, the only one in the world that has all 8 members of the family and is cold pressed, hasn't been heat extracted, and is tested for 200 contaminants. So there are 8 acids involved in our nutrition, and science has shown that together they key place in the health of mother and children. Omega, and very few pregnant women end up taking decent omega. It's 100% safe for pregnant women. It's potent, it's pure, it's proven. And so we're excited about this product. The next one is Botanical Balance, that helps balance our blood sugars. And we look at 463 million people in the world living with diabetes or pre-diabetes. And you take 4 of those a day, and boom, with obviously we want people to try and eat properly. They're not miracle, but food helps. And these herbs in the Botanical balance out that wonderful blood sugar thing that so many people are fighting. Okay, and then we haven't left the children out. We've got the Vita Squares on this side of the counter of the page that feed the cells. That's like our multivitamin in a base of treonine. And then we've got our VitaGuard, which protect our cells, put a shield around those kids in a base of carotenoids. So that boosts immunity. It's fabulous to see. And then we have a range of household cleaning products. And these cleaning products are completely non-toxic and non-caustic. So that means it's 100% safe in the house. It's not poisonous. You're not spraying toxins around. You're not having endocrine disruptors, which the caustic cleaning products are well known to cause endocrine disruption in bodies. So here you have a liter of a heavy-duty cleaner to clean car engines, guys. It cleans spots on upholstery, collars, cuffs, walls, tiles, everything. It's 100% non-caustic, non-toxic, and it makes all those 22 spray bottles 1 liter. So 1 liter lasts you 6 to 9 months. And it is, prevent an estimated 700 million bottles from being dumped into landfills. And that was years ago. So you can add a few million onto that. So it's an environmental help. It's amazing. Okay, and then there's another one called the light duty cleaner, which we diluted 1 to 5, and that is more soapy. You can wash your body with it. Men can shave with it. We wash our dishes with it. But the exciting thing is we can wash our fruit and vegetables to get all those toxic chemicals off, because all those chemicals are in a nice oil base so that the rain doesn't wash it off. Your tap's not going to wash it off. But the LDC cuts fat and grease, and boom, it's gone. So I'm just showing you basically what we've got, and we also have some amazingly exciting organic vegan skincare from France, made and tested in France. Really, really exciting stuff. So, that's what we've got to offer, and we're very, very proud of our products. But the biggest thing, they form an incredibly good base to build a business on. So I'm going to hand over to Rory now as he explains that.
Excellent. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thanks so much. You can see with a base of products like that, they need necessity. They are used, or our type of product is necessary in every single home. Our product is also, it's not only need necessity, it's economical. It's the best quality you can get. But something I must explain to you. So often people say, well, why don't you sell your products in retail stores? The answer is simply this. If we had to sell these products retail, they would be totally unaffordable because normal marketing, you've got a product, then you have a huge advertising budget, then the retailer has got to take their share of profits. And then if we had to do that to our products, it would be impossible because we'd rather have better quality products with the right ingredients, products that work, and we market it on a network basis where we cut out the advertising. Our advertising is done word by mouth, and that's what you and I will be doing. So you cut out those expenses, those major overheads, so you can get a top quality product to the end consumer for a reasonable price, a good price, and you can handsomely reward the people who are doing the work for you. And that's why we've selected to go in this method. So let's just have a look if I can move on right. Well, who is Neolife? Before I get to that, I just want to touch on something too. In this day and age we live, it's an ever-changing world. You can take nothing for granted because times are changing. There's so much happening. Take AI. That's creating an incredible job instability around the world. You take the general depression that's going around the world. People are losing jobs. There's uncertainty. And so take nothing for granted. So what we're suggesting tonight is take charge of your own financial destiny. In other words, create a plan B. Have you got a plan B? What if tomorrow you were fired or your income source stopped for whatever reason, a bad investment or the bank went bankrupt or something totally out of your hands, out of your control? What is your plan B? Here I'm giving a simple little solution that you can do part-time by dedicating about 10 hours per week and steadily over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, build a lasting legacy for yourself and your family to come, generations to come. And that's what makes Neolife so unique. So who's Neolife? Neolife gives you a chance of having your own international business, your own international business. It gives you a chance of earning substantial part-time or even full-time incomes. Because what happened with us, we started off part-time, and then my accountant said to me, hey, by the way, buddy, your part-time business is doubling your full-time income. That's where we got rid of our full-time business. So this might well be, as it was for us, a career path for you, where you give up the normal 8 to 5 corporate slog that you might be a part of. And believe it or not, I've found one thing in the corporate world: there's zero loyalty. If you don't do it, they'll have 10,000 other people knocking on the door to do it. So you have no confidence or no stability in that situation. So it allows you to build a part-time or even a career path for yourself by distributing world-class need necessity products around the world. So I don't want you to think limitedly. Think globally, because where the mind goes, reality follows. Get the big picture here and start looking at what Neolife can offer you. Okay, so how does it work? There's a system, and the system is so simple. The first part is to use the products to establish your belief. So how do you do that? You will link, and we'll show you how to do that later. You link to the company for an investment of less than 1,000 Rand. Now, let's be honest. If that scares you, you shouldn't be in business. Bottom line. You cannot buy a decent pair of shoes for 1,000 Rand. So if 1,000 Rand, some people, the 1,000 Rand blows them out. Well, they were not designed for business. They are followers. They're not leaders. So be selective with who you select. So you use the product yourself to establish your own belief. You can only recommend something that you totally believe in. Would you agree with that? The second part of the system is, once you've got this belief, is start sharing your belief by talking about the products that you're getting benefits from, and then sharing the business concept. In fact, I want to put the emphasis on sharing the business concept, because this is where we differ. You can work hard all of your life, or you can work smart. And you start to work smart and duplicate time by sharing the business concept. The third thing is develop your mindset, grow as an individual, take the discipline to read good books, understand your business, master your business, know how it works, understand the plan, be able to explain the product and the plan, get your mindset right. And that's the 3 steps in the system. So here's your business action plan. Okay, let's say you're going into business. Number one, you would select a kit and you'd link to your life, and you would receive a buying number, and that investment would be, call it 1,000 Rand. There's bigger kits and smaller kits, but call it 1,000 Rand. You have a buying number. That buying number has to be renewed annually for 160 Rand per year. For that 160 Rand, Neolife takes care of the management of your business, complete. It gives you your own personalized website. It gives you an accounting system. It pays your bonuses and your team's bonuses into their account, into their personal accounts 5 days after month end. It allows you to operate in over 50 countries around the world. So it's a no-brainer. It's as simple as that. So you select your kit and you link to the company. Number 2, you use the products and develop, number 1, a customer base. On the left-hand side of the screen there, you can see, if I can get a little arrow over there, you get some customers. Where do your customers come from? When you personally use it, you start talking to people. If your blood pressure was high and you reduce your cholesterol and your blood pressure, tell people about it, about the omega-3 you've been using and how it's helped you. Or if your sheets and your clothing have been whiter than they've ever been before, tell people about it. Recommend the product, because we have that huge home care range as well. So your activity is to use the product yourself, get some customers, and build a business of 250 points. Just for those of you who are listening, each product has a point value to just balance out our, obviously we work in 50 countries around the world, so each product, that's our universal currency. The next thing you do is you start talking to people, and along comes A, B, and C, and they become distributors and join Neolife just like you. Okay. Now what happens is you've got your 250 points between you and your customers. Your job is to train with your upline, who will help you, train your A, B, and C distributors to do exactly what you've done. In other words, they invest 10 hours per week or so. They change their buying habits from the supermarkets and pharmacies. They just do it online, delivered to their front door. And very soon they've got a 250 point business. That will give you 1,000 points. That will give you a 10% bonus. And you'll be earning an income return there of about 2,000 Rand. No big deal. But believe me, an extra 2,000 Rand is very handy at month end. Okay, so now you've got a 1,000 point business. Duplicate it again. You and your 3 people, you find another 3, teach them between yourself. And so you're working on that 1,000 point unit yourself. In our illustration here, A, B, and C do the same things. You've now got a 4,000 point unit. We give you a fancy title. We call you a director. You get a 25% kickback at the end of the month, and approximately 15,000 Rand would be paid into your bank account at the end of each month, 5 days after the month end. It's a phenomenally reliable system. It's a bank that works. So that director model is the key to it. I might have another slide here. Before I go to that, think about that. I don't know how long it's going to take you to build a 4,000 point business. I've known people to take 2.5 months or 3 months. I've known people to take 6 months, 2 years, 3 years. That's entirely up to you. You determine that through your commitment and your professionalism, your application of the business. Neolife works. The question is, can you do it? I don't know. You've got to sort that one out. You are responsible for that. But I know the business works, providing you apply yourself to it. But this 4,000 point unit, just give you a little picture here for your mind. What if in the next 2 years, you've got a 4,000 point business, and let's say A, B, and C followed your example. You're the leader. They followed what you've done. They duplicate what you've done, a 4,000 point business. That would give you what we call a world team member. Just by the way, we have 800 world team members going to we've got people in Sun City at the moment, and we've got people going off to the Zanzibar Island on Monday or on Tuesday. Now, these are all leaders who are doing what I'm telling you. There's over 800 people at these leadership schools, international schools. So if you had a 4,000 point business and they all did the same thing, you'd be what we call a one Ruby director. You'd be earning 30 to 40,000 Rand per month. Could you handle that? I bet you could. Of course you could. That's just basically what the business is all about. But what I'm talking about is neo-life possibilities. What, by joining the business, what are your possibilities? You have the possibility of owning your own business. Hey, that was a big one for me. I could not see myself working for anyone all of my life. That's a mug's game. So you could have your very own business. It's good for your self-esteem. Number two, possibilities of making money as much as you can dream of. You know, our first check, if I remember correctly, was 8 Rand 50. Is that right now? It was 8 Rand 50. We thought, well, we could add a few noughts onto that. We got to a point where we were making so much money, we had to buy an aeroplane and a farm just to sort out our taxes in a better way. So this thing works if you apply yourself to it. So what do you dream of? How big do you think? Where the mind goes, reality follows. Get a bigger bucket and you can fill it. Okay, number three, possibilities of leaving a legacy. That to me and Nola, I think would be one of the most important parts of it. We had a saying many years ago when we joined that a man should use his life so the use of his life far outlives his life. That stuck in my mind. You take a man like Beethoven. We all know Beethoven. He lived 350 years ago. He wrote music that we still love today, 350 years later. So he used his life so the use outlived his life. Now, in our business, you can build a business that becomes a cash cow for your family. And that cash income can pass on generation to generation. We have instances in America where it's passed on to the fourth generation now. And, you know, that's what I call leaving a legacy, using your life. So the use of your life far outlives your life. You know, that legacy is so important. If you're a doctor, you can't pass on your legacy because when you go, your skill goes and your profession goes. Here you can build up a cash income source, a cash asset that can pass on generation to generation. Another possibility, great health. Do you know how important that is? The older I get, the more aware of that I become. And my wife is the same. Here we are knocking on the door of 80 years old. We're living the best possible life the Lord could ever give us. Why? Because we have our health. You cannot put a value on that. I know people who might have millions who are languishing away in some hospital bed with some sickness. That is a tragedy. So we want to extend the health of your life for as long as we can and maintain good health. And for those of you who are not healthy at the moment, even regain health. I've seen so many people, like dear Andre, we worked with for many, many years, Dr. Andre Comrie, and she went through stage 4 cancer, was on the product, recovered, lived for 30 years beyond that time. And we've seen that happen as well. So there's hope for those people. The possibility of travel. Travel is such an education. It's one of life's great things. Have you traveled the world? If you haven't, put it on your bucket list to do. Because travel is such a great privilege. And we travel 5-star. And, you know, I've traveled on my own. Noela and I have traveled on our own around the world. And, you know, it can be daunting at times. But when you travel with a group of people with so much in common, common purpose, you develop friendships on a global basis. When we go to the island next week, we'll be meeting friends of ours from all over the world. What a privilege that is. So the possibilities are immense. So with that, I think that's all we've got to talk about this evening. Is I just wanted to say what you've got here is of great value. Do not, sorry, I'm messing around with that, but just forget that. Take what you've got and use it. You've been given God-given talents. Sometimes we sit on these talents. I want you to get hold of them and work until and climb until your dreams come true. And all that is necessary is for you to find a suitable opportunity. And I believe what we've shown you tonight is second to none. There are others out there, but they all come with risk and uncertainty.